8 a.m. through 5 p.m., Mondays through Fridays. You can find Ashlynn Ivy here on the campus of Lamar University. What's your job at Lamar University?
I'm an academic advisor in the Center for College Readiness, so I help students make schedules and basically serve as an information hub for all the students that I advise. It's pretty fun.
So can you tell me what you enjoy about your job?
Definitely the students and the interaction I have. Like, a lot of kids come in every day and ask me questions, and forming relationships with those students is probably like the best aspect of my job. I really enjoy that.
After 5 and on the weekends, you can find Ashlynn Ivy on stage in front of a microphone in a number of entertainment venues in Southeast Texas. The academic advisor at Lamar is also a talented performer whose star is on the rise. Has there ever been a time where your job interfered with your music?
Well, maybe, because, students that I advise will keep, newspaper clippings and bring it in and, hey, Miss Ivy, look, at first I tried to keep them separate, but I realized you can't really do that.
How do you juggle the two? I know it has to be hard at times. You're out, you might have a show, and then the next morning you might have to get up and come to work. So how do you juggle that?
It's very time consuming because I work 8 to 5 and then we have practice, maybe once or twice a week, and then maybe 2 shows on the weekend. I don't have much of a life other than that, music and work, but it's okay. I'm grateful for that.
Surrounded by a family of musicians, Ivy began to take the craft of music more seriously in 2006 when she started working with musician Dave Maka. In 2008, Ivy released her first album, The Peacock and the Owl. Ashlynn is inspired and influenced by a number of artists. Can you tell me where your inspiration comes from with your music?
Probably my grandfather. He's a saxophone player for the Boogie Kings, and he was always growing up, we listened to Charlie Parker or whatever, Billie Holiday, and Barbara Lynn. She's amazing.
Do you have any musical influences?
Oh, a ton, and I probably couldn't name all of them, but
your top.
My top, okay, Jolie Holland, probably. She's from Houston, and she does a lot of folk, and I like the way she phrases words and things, and I think I've taken a lot from her. Growing up, being an angsty teen, I think I listened to a lot of like TLC, Fiona Apple, Whitney Houston, In Vogue, all that kind of stuff. Now as I get older, I guess it's other local musicians and just, whatever I hear that, old blues I like.
Recently, Ashlynn decided to lend her voice and create harmonies with other local musicians.
Mad Mod and the Hatters, that's the whole name. It's the recently formed, we call it a super group, from some local musicians in the area. We have Dave Maka, plays guitar, and he plays in the Champagne Room and the Kinship. Jake Hollier, our drummer, he's in Hello Chief and his new band Octopoodle. Jenny, the other singer, she's in Jenny and the Reincarnation. Then we have Adrian Ryherd and Tanner Ivy, and then David Poole, who's on, he plays with Ramblin' Boys. So it's just like this massive group of people who all love music and love to just have fun and play. We're really excited to do something together, just for fun.
The supergroup won the Kate Spade New York Battle of the Bands, which landed them a performance in Austin's South by Southwest Music Festival in March 2012. With the popularity of Mad Mod increasing, Ivy has an interesting take on fame.
I want to be like coffee shop famous, but I don't think I could be like American Idol or Beyonce or whatever famous. I wouldn't mind the money, but I'm not gonna lie.
With an honest approach to her music, Ashlynn realizes the highs and lows of being an artist. Can you tell me what you enjoy most about performing?
Mostly it's just the interaction with the other musicians on stage. It's kind of like your time to just have fun, and what you've been working on all week or all year, all month, you just kind of give it to everyone. I get really, really nervous, so performing live isn't my favorite thing to do. I do love the audience, the interaction, But in general, I'm kind of, you know, I'm kind of frightened of people.
Now, have you broken out of that show a little bit?
I think every time it feels pretty much, I mean, I'm a people person, but I don't necessarily like to have all the lights shining on you and be responsible for like entertaining people. I mean, it's a hard concept to sort of, you know, swallow. Like, oh God, if they don't like me, you know, I failed at this job that I have, you know, so it's a little daunting, but it can be fun. And the rewards are that you know, you get to play music and you get to have fun doing something that you care about.
Handling her creative endeavors with care, Ashlynn is collaborating with bandmate Dave Maka again. What's your next project?
Well, right now we're working on our second album, which is taking, you know, we're taking our time with it. And we've recorded probably about 7 songs. But right now, you know, we're just being creative and trying to get all those, you know, everything together, I guess, is what So what is the answer to that question after all that mumbo jumbo? We're working on our next album. We'll have it out soon.
What's next for Ashlynn Ivy,
well,
the musician?
Let's see. I don't know. Any ideas? Hopefully with Mad Mod, the new band that I'm in, we'll, you know, record some, you know, new things, and I think that's going to be a big move in a new direction. I'm really excited about that. So hopefully, you know, you never know who's listening and what's going to happen.
Performing on stages in Southeast Texas is helping Ashlynn Ivy rise to the next stage of her life, stardom. I'm Danyell Blough reporting for LUTV on Fox.